let's get started by talking a little bit about your initiatives. Habiba, I'll start with you. You're here talking about L'Ascenseur today. Can you tell us a little bit about what L'Ascenseur does?
Yes, of course. So thank you for inviting me here, and I'm very honored to be here. I will just start off asking all of you to think of one person that you crossed, met, or know in your family, your neighborhood, or your friends, or someone you don't know at all, who you think is in need. Just a few seconds to think of this one person and to have this face in your mind. And imagine you get in an elevator and all your problems or all the problems of this person disappears. There was a common belief which says there is no elevator to success, and L'Ascenseur is saying it's totally wrong. So at L'Ascenseur, we started with one finding in suburbs of France, in Paris especially, where unemployment rate is 3 times more, is higher than everywhere else in France, where they are very low or inexisting infrastructures, and there is discrimination in hiring. And every organization which works on inclusion, diversity, on equality of opportunities was working on their own, on different fields, sectors, and some others were becoming bigger. So we thought, like, why don't we unite these organizations and create one social innovation lab to increase impact for inclusion, for equality of opportunities. And that is L'Ascenseur. L'Ascenseur is this community with common beliefs, with common values. It's about connecting people, connecting projects, connecting dreams of people, of the same users, and it's now 300 employees, 50,000 volunteers, and 500,000 users we support, with 20 non-profit organizations who are within. And it's in a beautiful Parisian building in the center of Paris, which is at Bastille, so near the place of Bastille. And I represent also Time to Start, which supports entrepreneurs from suburbs who don't have the same opportunities as others to a network, to a market, to succeed, where we support since 2013 156 entrepreneurs with more than 50% of women and 70% of them who are still working as a company.
Incredible, incredible. Thank you, Habiba.
Thank you.
Laura, you have a video with you today,
Exactly.
I think, to present a little bit on miracle messages. So if we can get the tech team to set us up with that video just over here on our screen. Perfect.
What's up, Mom?
Hi, honey. How are you?
Guys.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm doing fine.
We're seeing homeless people not as problems to be solved, but as people to be loved, and seeing them as somebody.
Hi, Leslie. I want to say happy birthday. I miss you and I love you. Please contact me soon.
I really would like to talk to you again.
Joey, Eliza, listen, sorry I weren't here for you. I did a lot of time in prison. I love you both. Don't forget Dad loves you.
So I started Miracle Messages in honor of my uncle, Mark was kind of one of my favorite family members, remembered every birthday, guest of honor at Thanksgiving and Christmas. He also suffered from schizophrenia and lived on and off the streets for 30 years. But you know, I never looked at Uncle Mark as a homeless man because he's my uncle. And so after he passed away, I just started thinking, you know, everyone I'm walking by, this is someone's son or daughter, someone's brother, sister, someone's uncle. And what is this backstory?
I'm all right. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm all right. We're all getting over.
Oh, Michael, where the hell have you been? We've been so worried. Jesus.
Okay, I'm okay.
Once I started listening to people on the streets and realizing that, yeah, people need food, water, shelter, clothing, housing, but they also need love and belonging and sense of nourishment and self-esteem and purpose.
We made it happen.
Thank you. That's an incredibly touching video, Laura. The first time I watched that, I was bawling my eyes out at how incredible it is to have this opportunity even available to such a vulnerable community. I can only imagine what it might be like. And I think you have an updated statistic for us even on how many people have been helped through Miracle Messages now.
Yeah, exactly. Just this video has been recorded approximately 1 year ago, and to date, we reunited 300 families. So the number was not exactly the good one. So in 1 year, we had approximately 100 people more reconnected. Just also a few things about how does it work, because it was not really explained in the video. We have set up 4 different skills that can be used either by homeless people trying to find their relatives, or also by relatives trying to find someone who disappeared. We have a hotline number which works in the US, a mobile application, a form, a paper form, and also an online form. So both people can use it to contact us and just want to find someone in their life. In addition, we record some video also because it helps people to have the first contact when it's 20 years of disconnection. Sometimes just with the video it helps before the real reunification. And then we have volunteer detectives that, okay, sorry. Everybody hear me? It's okay. We have a volunteer detective that have each case. In fact, each case is allocated to a volunteer detective that we have, and each volunteer trying to solve his own case. And then we organize the reunification if it's possible.
I love that. And my understanding from our conversations before as well is these caseworkers, really these are volunteers who are working full-time jobs even, and taking a little bit of time out of their weekly schedule to help one person in need out. Are you looking for volunteers in France? Is there a way that people here in this audience might be able to lend a hand?
Yeah, of course. Actually, the organization exists in the US and works very well in the US, and we're trying to build the same project in France and to have it here to help homeless people in France. So everybody, all volunteer that we can have would be a great value for us. And as you just say, we don't need people full-time involved in the project. Of course, we need people that will have a lot of time to help us, but we also need just volunteers for once, so you can come and be here just to solve one case once because you have time at this moment. Because each case is given to each volunteer, then you can just come and help for one people.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Thank you. Habiba, working with l'ascenseur, with your background, you've done a lot of work to help empower people in all kinds of ways, from entrepreneurs in Marseille and through your work through the not-for-profit world. Is there something that really sparked your passion or your compassion to really want to work in this space to help other people? What was it about your story that propelled you into this space?
There were several things actually. There were events in my life, and I think one of them is to achieve something, to achieve a goal or maybe also a dream. I was dreaming of launching my fashion brand, and I didn't know nothing from fashion, and I just didn't want to regret one day to not even try to do it, And when I meet people, when I met young people, very young high school pupils and etc. students who say to me, my dream is just to have a small job at the supermarket. My dream, like it's dream, at the supermarket or as, I don't know, without any ambition. It's not because these jobs are not like high valued or full of potential, because this kind of arguments come from, I don't have the chance to get there. I don't have the chance to dream, actually, not even like do or think, but also just dream of succeeding, of having my house in a good neighborhood and raising my children with good education, etc. And one day, a very personal event, my sister, we were living in Marseille, and we didn't even know that exist suburbs, suburbs and rich neighborhoods, and it was a suburb, and my sister was in a school, and in France, suburbs schools are different, and there was a special approach for education with a specific approach. And someone in her class said, I wanna become a lawyer, and the teacher said, no, you can't. You cannot be a lawyer because you don't have good grades for it. And he was like just in, I don't know, in college in France, like it's not even high school, but it's before high school, le collège. How can you say something like this to a 14-year-old boy? So this small events led me to think like that's not possible to not let someone dream, do, think, or access to the same opportunities. And when you come from a family without money or without a father who is a lawyer, who is a doctor, or who is, I don't know, a teacher or something, you have less chance to be a teacher, lawyer, etc.,
Sure.
as another one. And that is not normal. It's just injustice, and injustice is what I think is driven me to fight for inclusion, for equality of opportunities, and that's what we try to do in l'ascenseur. We try to say to everyone that you can do whatever you want, and just move. When you move, you meet people, you change your mind, and do maybe you know the phrase, think outside the box. Who does know this phrase? Think outside the box. Okay, I will tell you a secret. There is no box, actually. And I was just like living this and was like wanting to go outside the box, and I figured out there was no box, There was no, you are an Arabic woman, young, and you don't know nothing from life. It's like just move and succeed in your life.
I love that approach of thinking of the box as non-existent. And quite frankly, a lot of the times, I think these communities that don't have access to these opportunities, it can feel very limiting, right? You said there's a cap on what you can believe that you can do. And you're here saying, no, there is no cap for that. You know, think in a limitless way, see what you can possibly do. And then here's the support system to help make that happen. And that's a really important part. And speaking of support systems, Laura, we know that having access to love and resources and community is so, so important, and that's one of the first things that homeless people lose. One of the quotes I read from the website of Miracle Messages was, "I never realized I was homeless when I lost my housing. I only realized it when I lost my family and friends." And that's a really, really powerful statement about what homelessness might feel like. I wonder for you, what was it that caused you to be interested in Miracle Messages? What was the thing that sparked your passion and interest and made it something you wanted to work with?
Well, first of all, I guess all of the public here has already walked in the streets and walked by homeless people and just don't even have a look at him or her. So I guess all of us has already done something like that. And when I was walking in the street, I used to ask and wondering me, what happened to these people, because they are living here, they don't have anything, but something must have happened. What the backstory? What happened for them? And when I got pregnant and I have my baby girl, those thoughts were more and more pronounced because, well, the audience is quite young, but probably you have children also, and you might know that it's a real devotion to have children. And it takes time, it changes your life. And when I was walking with my little baby girl, I was like always thinking, a woman carried this guy, a woman carried this woman, and someone, probably not the mom or dad, but someone took care of him when he was a child. So what happened? What is the backstory? And then when I watched the video, and it's always the same emotional stuff when I watch this video, I watched it and I was like, okay, Kevin just translated my thoughts into action, and that's what we have to do. And it's simple because everybody can help us and everybody can be a volunteer, and it doesn't cost a lot of money. It just takes you a bit of time. So, and that helps people. And today it works because we have 300 people that was reunited, and that's 300 people not living in the street anymore. So it helps.
Right, and that's 300 extra people who have access to resources, to education, to healthcare, to everything that we really need to function as a society and healthy members of society. We have to wrap up this session. I want to see if we can rapid fire one sentence, give a challenge to the audience about what they might do, one little action to create change now for as far as inclusion goes in our communities. Which one of you wants to go first?
Okay. Well, of course, we need volunteers, we need funds, we need everybody that can help us. But if you can do one thing, and then I would have succeeded here, is that if you go out and walk in the street and just thinking of what I just said, just looking at people in the street and not seeing them as invisible people or as problem to be solved for the society, but more than like your dad, your mom, or someone's dad, someone's mom, and probably just trying to change your vision, trying to have a look at them, a smile, just a high contact or something, because that would change your vision, and that will probably change their day or their life also, because you will consider them. And that's what we do in Miracle Messages. We're trying to consider people as human beings, but not as just a problem for the society. And that's really the point.
That's the point. Treat people as people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Habiba.
Yeah. We treat impact with intensity. We think that we have to do a huge thing to make an impact. And I believe that little things every day consistency, with consistency, make the change. And you remember the face I asked you to remember in the first of the session. This face, this person you think of. Try just to connect with them, and maybe it can be a smile, maybe it can be a text message saying I love you, maybe it can just be how are you and looking them in the eye, but do it every day, you know. And I believe that the accumulation of these little things are the things who really make an impact.
Absolutely, those little moments of connection.
Yes, also connect with people who you don't, who are different from you, and come visit us at l'Ascenseur.
There you go. Thank you. That's a wonderful way to wrap it up for us, Habiba. Thank you so much, ladies.
Thank
It
you,
has been a
Martina.
pleasure.
Martina.
And I will help escort you off the stage. Everyone give a nice round of applause.